What is this? Gang lose entire neighborhood as New York City collapses by Cash Jordan? Does this actually happen?
Right now, police are looking for a crew of purse snatchers who they say are targeting women on the Upper East Side. News 4's Gus Rosendale talked to one of the victims, a 71-year-old who was ambushed by a group of masked men.
So a gang of masked men are roaming the streets, stealing whatever it is they can get their hands on. Because as New York City spends millions to stop lawlessness in its subways and in its retail stores, desperate gangs are outflanking our understaffed police who can't be everywhere and are now preying directly on the general public. And this is just the latest escalation in a never-ending wave of crime. New York City has no hope.
Holy crap. It's getting like that bad in New York?
Of stopping.
The violence was as sudden as it was unsuccessful, as a trio of sledgehammer-wielding thieves made a beeline for this jewelry store in Bay Ridge.
Suddenly, I just was hit.
3 women targeted in recent weeks in the same area, around 2nd and 3rd Avenues. The crimes happening after dusk, but not late at night.
They've hit nearly 24 times over the past 3 months. At times, you can see it on video, snatching drivers' phones mid-ride and then draining their bank accounts.
Peering through the peephole, this Bronx man thought his insurance company was delivering much-needed help for his injured back.
I opened the door.
And he says these men kept demanding one thing.
I said, what's the money? I got no money.
Somebody's supposed to tell them if you...
Dude, these guys are fucking sick. Like, this is sick.
Work, hard work, or if you go to school, you will be a doctor, you will be a lawyer.
Imagine if more people had guns. There's no way they would be this brazen. They would get absolutely smoked.
But now you lost your life.
Cops haven't determined if the same group is to blame for this most recent hit, but it sure looks similar.
So as crime below ground continues to surge, New York City no longer has enough police to keep our streets safe. And what nobody's talking about is this means assaults on the general public are only going to get worse.
Have you guys ever seen, any of you guys seen the video? I think it was out of Las Vegas, where a vape shop guy got robbed and he had a knife and he just fucking went to town on the dude that like jumped the corner. The dude jumped the counter with a gun and he just went fucking ham on him with a knife, just took him out. It was crazy.
Because putting more police below ground just forces those criminals to commit crime.
He went like full London on that guy. It was actually insane. And I think the guy, like, didn't he like, man, he like falls over and he just says, "I'm dead." Like,
somewhere else.
Holy shit.
Something they're already doing as big box retailers spend millions locking down their stores to stop the theft of everything. Not just luxury items like jackets and designer underwear, but also the theft of ice cream and consumables, which gets stolen from...
Actually, I don't think he died. I actually don't think that guy died, surprisingly. I think he lived. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Someone might have more info on that, but I think he lived. Dude got stabbed like fucking 20 times or something. It was actually crazy.
From one store and resold at another. And if our criminals can't commit crime in the subway and they can't commit crime in stores, they're just gonna follow the path of least resistance, which is gonna lead them right to you and me. And even New York's dumbest criminals are quickly learning that regular people are walking piggy banks. We've got phones, AirPods, jewelry, and perhaps a bag that can be resold on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. And if they score someone's ID and a set of keys, whatever's in their house or car could just be a bonus. Which brings us to the real reason New York's entire system of law and order is collapsing, putting regular people at risk. We've decriminalized things like theft, robbery, and assault, which explains why those are now full-time jobs for our thugs. And when you combine a zero consequences environment with New York's ultra-high cost of living, these thieves can find willing buyers for unlimited amounts of stolen items on every...
That's so crazy that they're just brazenly selling the shit on the street like that.
Street corner in town. And as you're about to...
I bet they're not even paying taxes on that, like sales taxes.
See, our thieves will steal whatever they can get their hands on, even if it's in your pocket.
Wait, really? In the UK, someone got charged because a burglar hurt themselves? Ah, it's UK though, like whatever. They're a bunch of cooks anyway.
So here we are in Manhattan's Upper East Side, a neighborhood with an average apartment rent of over $4,000 per month. And with even the smallest studio apartments here costing around $3,200 per month, you'll need to be fairly well off to call this area home. But because
I'm gonna be real, I don't really have any sympathy anymore for places that just cook themselves, you know? I just don't. Like, I have so much shit to care about now. I'm just kind of like, you know, you get what you vote for, you know?
New York City's given up on law and order, the resources it takes to live in this neighborhood have...
Like, dude, isn't it amazing? Like, dude, I'm not gonna lie, being American is such a fucking buff. Like, it's actually insane. Like having the First Amendment and the Second Amendment is crazy. Like, it's really something else.
Sadly made everyone here a target for criminals.
Upper East Side
God bless the founders, man. Like, for real.
cardiologist Ellen Mello tells me she's bouncing back. But police say this group of violent purse snatchers is still out there, linked with multiple attacks in the same neighborhood.
Oh, yeah, of course I feel bad for those people, Drew. Like, of course I do, yeah. I feel bad for people that, like, they don't deserve it, but there's a lot of people that do.
Neighborhood, attacking women, going for purses, and always getting away with their sense of security.
This story is terrible. Here you have a normal person, this poor woman who's a doctor, and thieves singled her out in this part of town and stole her belongings, which they've apparently...
I'm getting like so cold when it comes to like caring about places that have like these problems when they basically just keep voting for the same things. Like, how do I even feel bad? How do I keep feeling bad for San Francisco? How do I keep feeling bad? Like, it's like, how can I?
Done before. This isn't the first time these criminals have targeted someone around here and escaped. And they've gotten away with this multiple times over the last few weeks. Here's what they look like. 5 men. I don't care who you are. If they come after...
This is the same thing with like the UK. Like, you know, keep virtue signaling on me, like whatever.
I mean, it sucks, but they refuse to help themselves.
Keep telling me how like you're such a good person because you're taking in like, you know, a bunch of refugees that like have nothing to do with your country. They share nothing culturally. Like, just keep doing it. Keep doing it, you know. Keep doing it, you know. Ban guns, ban knives now. Like, just keep doing it until like, you have nothing, basically, and then all the criminals like have all the control. Yeah, just keep doing it.
You're gonna be outnumbered. And that's a huge problem. Our streets are literally becoming no-go zones.
And the thing is again, like they virtue signal they virtue signal this all the time. Oh, I can't believe, like, how could you live in a place that has guns? Like, how do you even do that? Like I can't even imagine that. Like, you just have people with guns like that. How barbaric. Like, this is how they act. This is how they act. I hear it all the fucking time. Yeah, whatever. Spoken like a true American. You just need your boom, boom, boom. Like, okay, fine. You know what? Fine. Get fucked. You know, get fucked. Get fucked.
For the very residents who live on them. And this is absolutely terrible. People should be able to walk around where they live and not be in fear. Yet because our city...
Yeah, you defend your life. What the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, exactly. This is why I have less and less sympathy. I have less and less sympathy because it's like the virtue signaling is fucking insane. Like, they always bring this shit up all the time. Oh, yeah. Enjoy your American healthcare. Yeah. You know, you guys have guns. It's like, you know, like, imagine like feeling like you need these guns. Crazy Americans. Yeah, you know, it's fucking suck it.
Because
you know,
gangs members are literally using pipe bomb and stolen grenades.
Yeah.
Has given up on law and order. This is a new reality many New York residents now have to face. Especially when nobody from this gang has been arrested. Everyone is still out there, even though we've got them on security camera and know who they are. Something which doesn't sit well with residents who are now sitting ducks.
3 women targeted in recent weeks in the same area, starting in late January, around 2nd and 3rd Avenues. Dr. Mello says she was walking down 70th Street near 2nd and by the scaffolding when she was attacked. She says it happened fast, but she still had time to fear the worst.
Like, I felt like...
This is absolutely terrifying, but it's exactly what happens when...
you get what you paid for in full. You already reap the reward. You know what I mean? Like, you already reap the rewards of the virtue signaling, so you just take everything that comes with it. That's my take on it. It's like you're you know, you got the benefit. You got the benefit of making fun of me for not being as compassionate as you. So fucking take the entire cake. Eat the whole fucking thing. That's how I feel about it. Eat it. Eat all of it.
You don't have laws that punish anybody for anything. And all of these attacks took place in the early evening hours before it gets dark, in a busy, well-trafficked part of town, which, according to criminal sympathizers, just so happens to be in one of the safest big cities in America. And although reality-denying positions like that only exist to help people feel better about the problems their policies have caused, the actual residents who have to live in these neighborhoods and walk on these lawless streets know the truth. Because this neighborhood's also falling prey to criminals like this guy who's 41 and has over 40 arrests. It says right here, every single time he gets a...
Look, obviously I feel bad for the people that don't vote for this and they don't virtue signal. And that they hate this. They hate living under this oppression. Obviously I feel bad for them.
Arrested, he ends up...
That's not who I'm talking about.
Getting caught loose because of our soft on crime justice system. Either the charges against this guy get dropped, which means he never actually did anything wrong, or he gets set free on what's called supervised release, a court-ordered program and non-monetary condition that provides community-based supervision and support for individuals with pending criminal cases, where non-profit agencies are the ones who supervise these criminals. And look, if someone's allowed to commit crime in this city and their only consequence is that criminals sympathizing activists are the ones supervising them, that would explain a lot why we've got so many repeat offenders, especially when supervised release has apparently kept over 50,000 people out of jail and on our streets. And if criminals never end up in jail or lose their freedom, they're just going to keep committing crime.
Mello and another 38-year-old victim held onto their bags throughout their ordeals, while a 32-year-old woman lost her handbag, money, and credit cards. Neighbors now on alert. Again, another look at the suspects breaking the law again as they slip through the emergency exit on the subway, escaping the law, at least for now.
So these...
Dude, maybe we should just go like full fucking Singapore and just build like the ramp. You know, anyone know what I'm talking about? They just have the ramp, and like you commit a crime, they fucking strap you to the bottom of ramp, and then a person with a giant bamboo pole runs down the ramp and then smacks you.
Women, they were not just random targets. These criminals, they're here for a reason. They know that they can get away with this. They're going after a specific type of person in a specific area of town. This is awful. And when the people...
No, they cane people. They cane people in Singapore. They literally tie you to the bottom of a ramp, and then the person with a giant pole runs down the ramp and smack you as hard as they can.
Being targeted try to resist, they're outnumbered. It doesn't work out for them. And we have this same pattern of crime repeating itself over and over again, and nothing's being done about it. And that's because this neighborhood's in Manhattan, where the district attorney is incredibly progressive, but also the leader of the Trump resistance movement. One of several. We have many people here that are in positions of power who have decided to fight the new president tooth and nail. But if you've got a district attorney who doesn't see crime the same way normal people do, nobody should be surprised.
Dude, this is hilarious. Like fight Trump tooth and nail, and then just let your people suffer. It's actually so crazy that it's so crazy they're spending all these resources like fighting against Trump when like their own citizens are suffering.
When criminals
just rampant tyranny from like criminals who like have nothing bad happen to them.
Are let off the hook for things that offend most of society, which is crazy because in spite
it's like a literal fucking Batman situation over here.
of crime surging, it looks like our district attorney is headed to a smooth re-election. And if he wins, all that's going to prove is that New Yorkers still haven't connected the dots between the crime they experience every single day and policies and prosecutors who protect criminals or don't see them as criminals at all. And if that happens, it's just going to allow people like this guy to continue stealing from people and breaking into apartments. And you know something? If people like this can get arrested 40 times and never end up in jail, not...
You want to know what would permanently stop this guy from breaking into people's apartments? Castle doctrine. That shit would have been over in like literally one time he tries to do it.
Not only are they never going to change their behavior, but some...
It would have been over and like good riddance, honestly.
of them are going to graduate to committing crimes that are even worse.
Like, I don't know. Like, people will probably say that I'm, like, really mean for saying this kind of shit, but I have no patience anymore. I have no patience for these criminals just like terrorizing everybody that hasn't done anything wrong. Like just the sheer tyranny against like the average person that also is struggling and is also having a hard time, but they're law-abiding people and they don't break the laws or they don't do any of this stuff to like actually hurt other people like this. Yet they're being terrorized by these people who are being protected by, you know, whatever interests. I'm so over it. I'm so over trying to be like politically correct about it and being politically correct about it and trying to be like, wow,
I'm surprised New York
caring
has
about
gotten a
people
Paul
saying that
Kersey
I'm being
yet because
unkind
of
about
all
it.
this nonsense.
Like I'm so over it, you know? Like I'm so over it. It's like I don't know how much more to say it.
So here we have a bunch of independent businesses selling high-end stuff, which unfortunately always sells if it's stolen and then resold for 70 to 50% off on the side of the street or on the internet somewhere. But these places, they're commercial business.
Like I don't know what it is, man. Dude, I feel like these people, they just need to get their asses kicked. I think that's the solution. They just need like a good old fashioned like town square, like everybody gets together and just whoops the fucking shit out of them.
Businesses, they've got cameras and security systems, which apparently do nothing to deter thieves who are looking for a bigger payday than whatever they could find on someone's person.
The violence was as sudden as it was unsuccessful. A mother and her daughter scrambling out of the way as a trio of...
Yeah, I think that would be great, like stockades. Like when people do this, like you just do that and then give everyone like vegetables, like rotten vegetables. Like rotten vegetables and whatever they want, and then everybody can just like take a shot at them. Like I think that would be really effective.
Sledgehammer.
Also, it would be good for morale. It'd be really good for the morale of the people that have been terrorized by these people. It'd be like a good day, you know. Bring your kids, make a good day out of it, you know. Go out with your family on the weekends, throw a couple tomatoes at them. Like it just sounds like a good time.
Wielding thieves made a beeline for this jewelry store in Bay Ridge, pounding away as they tried to gain access with the owner and a customer inside.
So if you never punish purse snatchers, eventually some of them are going to graduate to stealing the stuff that they find inside purses, just stealing it from the store instead. Which shockingly happened at a jewelry store in full view of customers and the general public while the business was open. People tried to break in and steal stuff, and there were no police around to stop them because they've all been sent underground to stop crime in this subway. Now, luckily, the security glass on the front of the store stopped these criminals from being able to get inside, even though the place was open and the door was probably unlocked, which proves that these criminals are pretty dumb. They probably could have got in if they had just walked in through the front door, but nobody got arrested. And what that means is they're all still out there. They're gonna get a do-over, and when they come back to another business, maybe they'll be smart enough to just try and walk in or to get in some other way. Revealing that New York's soft on crime laws just make this place a training ground for criminals.
Somebody crazy. Fauzi Ayub owns Lamar Jewelry and says he can't understand why the gang thought they'd be successful. On Friday around dinner time, high-tech security glass stopped them in their tracks.
1, 2, 3.
So 3 windows.
3 windows, yeah.
You know, the fact that the glass stopped these guys almost makes it sound victimless, right? But that would
It's like fucking literally payday servers. It's freaking Payday 3 in New York.
actually be wrong, because even though none of the stuff inside the store was stolen, which is expensive, the security glass keeping everything safe, that cost $15,000, and now somebody's got to pay to replace it. And who do you think that's gonna be? Hopefully it'll be the insurance if the business has it, but even if they do have insurance,
this is like another argument I hear a lot about from these people is that, oh, well, it doesn't really affect the business owners, like the small businesses, because these are small businesses, right? This isn't like Amazon. This is like individual families that like started like their own business, taking care of their kids and like, you know, the livelihood of their families with these businesses. And what they'll say is like, oh, it's just insurance. You're not actually hurting them. You're hurting the you're hurting the man. You're hurting the big insurance companies. Who the fuck do you think pays for insurance? Who pays for insurance? And what happens when what happens if you get in a car accident? Does your insurance rate stay the same? What do you think happens with these people? Freaking morons, man.
Insurance, the rates for that business are going to go up because now they're in an area with increased crime. And they've got to pay a deductible. Insurance only pays for the glass, maybe not the
It's so stupid. You victimless crime. Like, shut up, dude. It's so stupid.
installation. They'll find a way out. But perhaps these thieves weren't as stupid as we think they were. Look at this. Recently, there was an $800,000 heist at a jewelry store, which was conducted by people who...
It's like so smooth brain. It's room temperature IQ to just be like, oh, it's a victimless crime. It's fine. It doesn't hurt anybody. It's just the insurance companies. Then fuck them. Like, so stupid. Why do you think the rights are? Why do you think insurance is so expensive?
Were operating in a similar manner with masks and sledgehammers. And even though we don't know if these are the same criminals, they probably aren't, but you can't blame
so that means they're rich, right? Leaflit clown.
them for doing what they see other people doing and getting away with, especially.
These people need to, like, I don't know. You need to get a job, get a job, and start a business. Try to sell something on your own. Start a side hustle. Understand how the fucking world works.
When the potential payday is massive and when the consequences are very small. None of these criminals in New York are risking their freedom or their ability to live a normal life by attempting to commit any of these crimes because they'll just get a slap on the wrist. Or at worst, maybe supervised release, which isn't really a consequence. Which is a huge problem because it means the only people at risk are the law-abiding businesses and people on the streets who are targets. Which explains why we're seeing more of this type of crime, not less.
You wanna know what's dumb is I don't know if this happens. It probably does happen in New York. I don't know much about New York specifically, but like, don't people pay actual gangs to protect their businesses? I swear that's a thing. They pay like some they pay like gang tax to like local gangs to like actually protect their businesses because it becomes the turf of the gangs, and anyone that fucks with them like makes the gang like actually go after those people.
Cops are investigating two very similar crimes within 48 hours of each other back in December. One just down the block from Ayub's shop. There, they targeted the store in broad daylight and got nothing. But here in Jackson Heights, they grabbed $800,000 worth of jewelry.
So if people can break into multiple businesses and not get caught, of course this is going to be a new type of crime wave. No one's getting in trouble. And it costs the criminals absolutely nothing to get.
You know what they should do? They should just put Yo, what if they just do? They should just One Piece it. They should just One Piece it. Just put a bounty on these people. Put a fucking picture, like a poster, and just put like a bounty out for them.
Give it a shot. And until that dynamic changes, this type of crime is just going to keep happening because the people doing it literally have no incentive to stop. In fact, the moment they stop, they're just going to see a news report about how their buddies successfully pulled off a heist of their own. And these criminals, they've got the fear of missing out on committing crime. They're not afraid of
One Piece is real.
All of getting arrested, which explains why these diversionary programs aren't going to convince these guys to go out and get normal jobs or live normally at any point in the future.
Somebody's supposed to tell them, if you work, hard work, or if you go to school, you will be a doctor, you will be a lawyer, now you lose your life.
Cops haven't determined if the same group is to blame for this most recent hit, but it sure looks similar. The investigation continues.
Why go to school? All the training these criminals need, they can get for free right out here on the streets. And possibly through playing video games like Grand Theft Auto.
I don't know about that one, man. I don't know about that one.
And even though this jewelry store owner is right that these criminals should be doing something else with their lives, everything he's suggesting they do carries more risk than living a life of crime in this city. For example, why would anyone go hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt when they can steal hundreds of thousands of dollars in jewelry without risking their freedom if they get caught? Why work hard and slave away for decades in school to be a doctor if, as a criminal in New York, you can obtain the wealth of a doctor through robbery? This is awful. This is a bad system. But by taking away the consequences of crime, we're just giving people more reasons to commit it. And the crimes we're starting to see in this city are more serious, not less. And with police and our subways and our stores locking down hardcore career criminals who...
God, New York seems so bad. Anyone here live in New York? How do you do it?
Won't work normal jobs have no choice but to go after regular people, which is what they're now doing, targeting the law-abiding when they walk down.
How do you do it, Zaxxon? Like, how do you do this?
the streets in front of their apartments, and in some cases targeting them inside the apartments they've rented, breaking into homes and stealing things in there. And the worst part about all—
But you can stay inside in the countryside. You know, Zaxxon? Do you need it like for where you work? Like, do you work at a place that's like in the city?
all this is we can't even say that the subways are safe.
Or you're too poor to move. Yeah.
Look at this. We've got people that are down in the subway trying to rob folks, and then when they get arrested, they get set free too. And this is the same subway system that is sucking up all the available police and law enforcement resources we have, making our streets dangerous, and it's dangerous. And that reveals that New York is in a lose-lose situation. We can't put all of our police below ground and stop crime down there, and while they're down there, the streets are even less safe than they used to be. What do you think the city should do? Is there a way to stop crime without arresting anybody or putting people in jail? Do we need more progressive diversion programs? Do we need to be gentler with our criminals? Is that what's gonna help them reform and change their lives? Is that what's gonna take a guy who's been arrested 40 times?
We should outsource it to El Salvador. We should just outsource it. Like we just we just call them up and be like, hey, like, can you build like a prison like over here, or like maybe we'll ship the people to you, and we should just do that.
By the age of 41 and get him to say, you know what, I'm gonna put on a suit and tie and do something different. Or should we have a justice system that puts people in jail to stop them from stealing in the first place? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
Right now, police.
Wait, what? Hold on, wait, what? First off, crazy and
Should we have
typical New York L